What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie BBQ. What I'm going to be doing today is going to be a turkey. And if you know me, you know I like cooking turkey. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put some pictures here of some of the turkeys I've cooked. For those of you that have seen any of my turkey videos, you know that I prefer cooking at higher temperatures. As a matter of fact, if I'm cooking them in the oven, normally I cook them at like 450 degrees. Usually if you're cooking at those temperatures, you're going to want a turkey that's 16 pounds or smaller. But somebody dropped off a turkey at my house. This is 20 pounds right here. And what I plan on doing is cooking this for some homeless people that hang out by this Goodwill store that we go to. So I thought I'd get a little bit creative on this. Now, I've done this with chicken. I haven't done it with turkey, but we're going to see how this comes out. What we're going to be making is a citrus injected and glazed turkey. So what are we going to need? I got this big old turkey. So this is 20 pounds. Typically I like cooking them around 14 pounds. So we're not going to be cooking at 450 degrees like I like to cook. We're going to tone that down a little bit. But we are going to be on the higher end of the spectrum. We're going to be cooking this turkey around 390 degrees. The reason I like cooking turkeys at that temperature or higher temperatures is because you're cooking it so fast that it doesn't have a chance to dry out. So what are we going to need? We have our turkey. We're going to have some oranges. Now with this orange, what I've done with some of it is I've come up with some of this orange juice. I ran that through a paper towel to get rid of some of the pulp, and then I'm going to use some of this, some of the rind as our glaze later on. We have some clarified butter, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to our orange juice right now. We have some chicken stock. Now this chicken stock, I've reduced it down to about half of what it says. So if you look at the directions on this, to make 1 cup or to make 2 cups, you need to have 3 bouillon cubes. What I did was doubled up the bouillon in it and reduced it down. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. So basically, if you're going to add bouillon cubes to water, add double what it would need for a cup. Later on down the line, we're going to be using some of this honey as part of our glaze, and we're going to need a meat injector. If you've watched any of my turkey videos, you know I like injecting with Tony Chachere's injectable marinade. So if you buy some of those, you have a free injector that comes with that. So, or you can just go buy them from the store. They're not that expensive. We're just using a cheap one, but these are typically like, $2 at Walmart. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this turkey out of this bag, pull everything out. I'm going to trim it up, so any fat that you see kind of hanging down, we're going to trim all that up. And when I'm done with that, we'll pick it back up. What I want to mention before we get started on this is that this turkey is at room temperature. I like starting off at room temperature rather than a cold turkey. What we're starting off with is, well, down the road is I have some oranges I have quartered up. I have a garlic clove, and then we have our mixture of chicken stock, clarified butter, and the orange juice. So what I'm going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and inject our turkey up, and we're going to try to get this whole mixture in here, especially since we're not going to be able to brine this. So we're going to hit this turkey probably every 1/8 of an inch throughout the entire part. We're also going to hit down here in the thighs and the wings. I do want to impart a little bit of citrus flavor, so I'm adding a little bit of orange juice, but you can add whatever you want in this. It does not have to be specific to this. Get creative. The remainder of our injection and put this on the outside. Like I said, if we were cooking this the way I normally would, this would not be a great idea because cooking at high temperatures and having butter is not a good combination. We're coming over with the citrus glaze a little bit later on. We're not going to be putting any seasoning on the outside of this while it's cooking other than sea salt, kosher salt, whatever kind of salt that you want. And this is just going to be a light coating. Another secret ingredient that I have when it comes to the appearance of the turkey is canola oil or any high temperature oil, vegetable oil spray, whatever. So we're going to hit this with our spray. Now we're cooking this at low temperature, so it's not going to matter as much. But if you've seen any of my other turkey videos, and I'm going to put those turkey videos in the description below and some in the Icard, take a look at those and you'll see why it's kind of important. Well, it's important because usually I'm cooking at high temperatures, and if you put butter, which a lot of people would like to put on the outside, it's just not going to look that well. So what we're going to do now, keeping in the citrus theme, I have some oranges and some garlic, and we're just going to stuff the cavity. A lot of times you will see even me or other people salt the inside of the cavity. That's a waste of salt. I've never tasted a difference. So even this, you'll get a little bit of the essence of the orange, but you're really not going to taste much of that coming through. This is just to kind of keep it a little bit moist when you're cooking. So I'm going to have the cavity stuff. Now what I'm going to do is tie up these legs. If you've seen my high temperature turkey cooks, I don't tie the legs up. If you're cooking at high temperature, you don't want to tie them up. We're going to go ahead and tie these up. So when I'm done with that, we'll pick it back up. We have our butcher twine tying the legs together. We have our oranges and our garlic in there. And obviously we have our butter and salt with our canola oil on the outside. We're going to do now, throw it in the oven until we get to what I like to do is I like to take them on my hot and fast turkeys to 175 degrees. What we're going to do on this one is take it to 165 degrees. Then I'm going to throw on our citrus glaze, which we're going to make right now. What we're going to do while this turkey is cooking, what I'm going to do is I've washed this orange off. We're just going to hit it with a little bit of orange zest. And this is about a quarter cup of orange juice. So we're just trying to get a little bit of zest in here. And that should be enough for the taste that we're going for. And now we're going to hit it with some honey. So this is about 5 tablespoons of honey, a quarter cup of orange juice, and the zest of 1 orange. I'm going to throw this on the stove, and we're just going to cook this down until it reduces to a nice little glaze. Our glaze that is here, and I let that cool down a little bit so it would get kind of a little thicker. So now we're just going to go ahead and apply this glaze to our turkey. So at this point we're just going to go ahead and apply this glaze. I did taste the glaze and it looks like it's needing a little bit of salt, so we're just going to throw a little salt in, mix it up. Now we're just going to kind of glaze our turkey. Now this is the first time I've done this method. Rather than, normally I cook my turkeys at high temperature, like 450, 425, somewhere in that area. What I try to do on this turkey is baste it with a little bit of butter, which is not something that I typically do. So we're going to see how that works out. But this glaze is absolutely fabulous. You know what? I may end up making a little bit more of this glaze to kind of have as a dipping sauce to go along with this once we slice this turkey up. Alright, there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and pour the rest on here, let it run down. I'm going to throw it back in the oven. I turned the oven off, but there should be enough residual heat just to let this glaze set. Once it's done setting up, we're going to go ahead and taste it and see what's up. Well, it looks like this turkey is a done deal. Let's roll up our sleeves and see how this experiment came out. skin is definitely crunchy. It's a little hot. Definitely get that injection taste in there. Let me try this skin. That glaze really crisped up the skin. I like it. This is a nice change from my normal turkey. Probably be trying this glaze on some pork or some kind. That glaze is delicious. Anyway, let's stop talking about this. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie BBQ. I appreciate it. Give us a try sometime. I mean, maybe on chicken if you don't want to cook a whole turkey. Anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie BBQ. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.